Good morning, Flosstube friends. This is Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher, and I want to welcome you to Monday's Cross Stitch Corner. It has been a great week here. We have everyone has had a great week at school, and we've had some rain, but it hasn't been too bad. So today is Monday, August 26th, and I have a lot to show today. So I wanted to just jump right in with the good stuff, the stitching. So I was able to Tuesday, they called Monday night, pick up my two framed pieces from Michael's, which I was watching Rachel with Needle and Flax yesterday, and she was talking about getting some pieces framed, and she has a Michael's and a Hobby Lobby, similar to me, and she found that her Hobby Lobby did a better job than Michael's. And personally, my experience is the opposite. My Michael's is my pieces from them have been more meticulous than the ones I got at Hobby Lobby. There was nothing major wrong with the Hobby Lobbies, but there were a couple places where it was a little bit off. So then I tried Michael's, similar to what she did, and the person who frames at my Michael's, they have been framing for a long time and have framed other needlework. So I completely agree with what she said on her video, that it depends on who the framer is at the store and kind of what their experience is. So if you have a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby near you, or even Joann's does some framing, but my Joann's is a lot further, take something small or take something that you find that's vintage and try them out and see what you think, and then you can go from there. Or if you have an actual framer, that's also a good option. The one thing about Michael's or Hobby Lobby and Joann's is they're always running sales, where most of the time, in my experience, in a frame shop is not going to have the same types of sales that a Michael's or Hobby Lobby, which all the frames are very similar. So it's just kind of your personal opinion. So with all that being said, this is my Maker and Mender, and I chose a frame. This frame actually is the same one I used to frame American Welcome by Paulette, except for I used a different fillet. This is a fillet. And this is one because of the words. They worked very hard, she said, to get it as straight as possible. It is teeny tiny bit, but it is good for me. And this is going to go right up here, next to my other pieces. So I love this, and I spoke last week about the changes. I did make some color changes, and if you're interested, I'm happy to send you the list. But I was somebody had asked me, and I was emailing them back, and I didn't really do like color for color. So, and I did change all the words. I changed to 926, including my initials, and then like I had a dark red, so I don't even know if the bird was red. I think maybe it was, but it was a different color. But I did use wood rose, which is called for, and peach is called for. So, and I think mountain mist is. But like I said, I didn't really do exactly color for color. So if you are interested, I'm happy to share. But so there is my Maker and Mender, and they did a really good job. And my other piece I got back was Love and Learning by Emily Call. And I also mentioned that I did not there is a part at the bottom, and also there's another flower over here. And I decided to put three large flowers, because I have 3 children. And that's why I left the other one off. I did change my house to Brother in Blue. I know that for sure. And then I changed some of the other letters. And in the camera. I know you can't see the Y, but in person you can see it. It is a little ghosty, but you can see it because it is the white. And my fabric is a light color. But I absolutely love this. This is actually the same frame except for in brown. And then I used like more of a gold fillet for that. But right now I have this downstairs. And I am in the process of trying to decide exactly how I want to display my pieces. Not up here. Up here I have them on the behind me. And these are mainly like needlework pieces. I do have Light of Winter, but that will go downstairs whenever I decorate for Christmas, winter. I'm unsure of how I want to be putting my pieces up right now on my fireplace mantle. I have some of the pieces up there, and I've put photos of that before in my video. And I have things at the bottom, and I have kind of seasonal pieces at the bottom too. But I am starting to accumulate more larger framed pieces, and some every day, which is kind of what my goal has been, to get more everyday pieces. And so I'm really trying to, I don't know if I want to hang, like make a whole gallery wall, or a friend had suggested some shelves, and then you can kind of move things around and put other things, which is how similar actually to how I have it back here. I like to decorate like that as well, because then I can put non-cross stitch pieces, or if I had a drum or a pin cushion or whatever, and I could kind of mix and match so I have different things. It's not just framed pieces. So, and even pillows you could put on a shelf. So that's kind of where I am now, is trying to decide exactly how I want to display them in my house. And as we're coming up to next month, I will be doing Sampler September, but in like October, November, I'll be decorating for fall and Halloween. So then everything kind of gets moved around. So that's when I really feel like I'll figure out the decorating. But I will be sure to share pictures of what I decide. All right. So after last week, I feel like I worked on something right after, or I might have straight picked this up. I picked up Witch's Night Out, which was one of the whips I had, and I started this last year at StitchCon, and I had very little of what I showed you last week. And I don't know what happened, but I just got motivated to get it all done. So I did use all of the called for colors, and let me move this here so you can kind of see. The pumpkins, I used the called for, but in the picture, like this one in particular, definitely looked darker. But it called for colonial copper, and that's what I used. Mine just happened to be a little brighter. And then this was fragrant cloves, I believe, which, like, to me, that's what that pumpkin looked like. But I love it nonetheless. So I will finish this into a pumpkin. I'll finish this into a pillow to put with my decorations. And after I finished that, and that was on Atomic Ranch Weathered Stone, which I love that color fabric. And I have yet to be able to find more 36 in that fabric. I know it's out there, but I just haven't, I'm never lucky enough to get it. So after I finished that, I thought, you know what? I think I can get this piece finished. And this is When Pumpkins Glow by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. And this again was a piece I started last year. And if you remember from last week, I had the pumpkins and I had the words over here. And I think I had started this bird. So I had the birds, the whole bottom, and this side to finish, which, to be quite honest, took a lot longer than I anticipated it taking. But I had heard from Sarah from Sarah's Stitchery. She had finished this last year, and she said that this bottom stuff, it took a long time to do. And mainly it's because there's a lot of little stitching that you have to get done. And so, but it doesn't matter because I wasn't on a time crunch, but I was trying to push myself to get this finished before I moved on to something else so I could get it out of my whip pile. So there is When Pumpkins Glow. I did use all of the called for colors, and I bought this as a kit from Farm Girl Dry Goods last year, and I believe Michelle dyed this linen, but I want to say it's on Ligonier Latte, which is very similar to this. So here it is my finish again, and I was going to, because I do have the panorama board, but I think I am going to finish it into a pillow and not on the board. So those are my 2 finishes for this week. So after I finished those 2 pieces, I was definitely in fall mood, but I also got into a sampler mood. So I was really tempted to start a new sampler, which I have kitted for Sampler September, but I thought, let me just see if I have some other fall or Halloween pieces that I can work on in the meantime. Because one of the things I realized after I did my video last week and I started looking in the basket I shared is that a lot of the larger pieces were kind of pinks and reds, which go with my everyday stitching, but then I didn't have any fall or Halloween in that basket. And I really would like to have 1, maybe 2 larger pieces done this year. I do not know if that's possible, but I have been stitching, like getting a lot of things done, so I am hopeful, but who knows, I could get derailed and squirreled. But I thought, let me see if I have, what I have, because I have plenty of things to either that were kitted or I could work on. So the one thing, and I had this kitted, I'm missing like 1 or 2 pieces of skeins of floss, so I have to pick those up. But Jack's Bash by Plum Street Samplers, and I almost started this last year, and I might have even started it, but then I didn't really like, I either started it and didn't like my linen, or I kitted it but never started it. I don't remember. But I did start this on 36 count graham cracker linen by Wabi Sabi, which is Kitten Stitcher's, his name is Graham. It's by Shakespeare's Peddler. So this is my start. And I was talking to Rika from House of Stitch and Stash, and she said, well, this is like a sampler, which it is. It has the letters, so that kind of helped itch that scratch. But I really like this, and I think this will be a fun piece to have up for Halloween. And I do, which I will work on before the next video, Halloween at Hollyberry, which I did share. So that was in my basket. But I was wanting to get something that was on a neutral linen. So I started this and worked on this a little bit. And then, let me get this back in here so I'm not losing things. I pulled out this, which is a whip, and I thought, if I can get, I don't know if I can get this done this year or not, because it is a lot of fill-in, but I thought if I could at least get a little more done, maybe get some outlining done, which I started watching, and I have AirPods, so I put an AirPod in, and then I have my phone, and I look for series of shows that have a lot of seasons that I can just watch while I'm stitching, my kids are playing, whatever. If I'm kind of they're doing their own thing, I'm doing my own thing, I will either watch Flosstube, sometimes I'll listen to a book, or I'll have some type of show on my phone. So I was watching Revenge, which I've already watched the whole series at least once, if not twice before, when it was on one of the streaming. And so I thought, I already know everything that happens, so let me start counting. So I decided to, and this is with all the called for colors, and this is on 36 count winter brew, which this piece actually calls for the graham cracker linen, and I didn't have a piece when I restarted this, and so I feel like winter brew is very close. It has slightly different color, but I thought winter brew would be fine for this. So I was able to, and I don't know if you can see it because it's a very light color, because this is arrowhead. So I was able to finish the roof line, fill these stars in, so I can just fill in the roof. I got in the stable part over here, which is where it needs to have, let me get closer, it needs to have the pumpkins filled in, but all of this can be filled in with that gray color, which is tin roof, I believe. And then over here, I need to start working on the windows and the vines across here, and then all of that can be filled in. So we will see. This is a lot of stitching and lofty goals to think I can get it done. But my thought is to try and focus on Gather In and Jack's Bash, get those done or close to done or something. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, it could be lofty goals because this is a lot of heavy stitching. And I would like to work on Halloween at Hollyberry. I don't see that getting done this year, but hopefully I can get a good amount done. And then I pulled out some Blackbird fall pieces that I would like to work on, not necessarily get done. One of them, and this is, so that was the whips. And I did pull out last night floral motif sampler, and I just finished one of the motifs, so I didn't bring that up here because it really looks no different than it did last week. However, that for sure, I want to try to get that done by the end of the year, so that's going to start making regular appearances. But this is when I was looking, I pulled this book out, Winds of Autumn, and I have the other fall book as well, which is, forget what it's called, because that has a sampler in it that I have a little start on. And this is called Bittersweet September. It has a sampler. My birthday's in September. I love this. I have wanted to stitch this for a long time, and I just never picked it up. So I have some of the colors. I need to get a couple of the other gentle arts because I want to do this in the called for floss. And I pulled out a piece of 36 count winter brew to do this on. And so I am going to do this as a small in September. And another thing that I need to do, I haven't done it yet, and it's on my list either this week or next week, is to go through. I have a whole bunch of Rubbermaid bins which have all my seasonal decor and stitching in, and they're in my guest room downstairs. And I need to go through them, pull out the fall and Halloween, and see what I have, Some of the pieces I might take apart and refinish. I have really enjoyed the dough bowl that I made with the patriotic things. And I took some of the flat finishes and I turned them into pillows. So I'm thinking I might have a few of those to do for fall and Halloween. So I'll keep you updated once I go through that and kind of decide what my decorations are. And I also want to go through the bins because I know there are things in the bins that I don't use anymore for decorating, or like some of the parts might have broken or whatever. So I really want to work on cleaning those out to pare it down, because I kind of feel like I figured out where I want to put seasonal and then where I want to put everyday things where I'm not moving them all around. So that's on my to-do list. I also, this has nothing to do with that, but I did find this in my stash, and so I'm thinking about figuring out how to make this. It does have the directions. This is from Brenda Gervais, but I thought this would be cute in my display. So I've really had fall and Halloween on the brain. I also, to go in my display with When Pumpkins Glow and Witches Night Out, I did buy, so this is part of haul, I bought these wool felt pumpkins from Amazon, and this was who it was, this is who they're by, and I'll find them and I'll link them below. But I bought those, and then I also, to fill the bottom of the display piece I'm thinking to put my pillow in, I bought some of these wool balls too. So I thought that these would be cute in there. So that was part of haul. And then let's see. I also purchased this kit from a person saw I was looking on D-Stash and they had this and had sent me a message. The O Tomato. This was the kit from Dying to Stitch last year with Kathy Haberman. This was their retreat piece, and I thought that was so cute. So not for now, but I would love to stitch this. So I bought that. I'm trying to think. I'm still waiting to get the new Brenda Gervais pieces. I want to stitch really bad the Autumn Swan. And so I have all of the floss and the fabric and everything ready to start that. So I have Bittersweet September and I have Autumn Swan. I still have I Love Fall Most of All. And then I think I have some other small whips that maybe are fall or Halloween to kind of be working on, and then really trying to work on those bigger pieces. However, that's kind of the plan, or start of the plan, to the end of this month. Then in September, I am going to be doing Sampler September, which I have my pieces pulled, and I spoke about those last week, but I have kind of added a couple more. So I'm not quite sure how for sure the Sarah Stewart Hardiman is going to be worked on. And today, this is my birthday start. And I ordered the silk conversion and fabric from the attic. And so that stuff should be coming today. So this is a for sure. I'm going to do this started on September 4th for my birthday and for Sampler September. The other things, we'll see what I kind of want to start. This is the one I was trying, I really wanted to work on this the other day, and then I resisted. I feel like this looks very fall to me. However, in the border, there's this purpley and blue flower, and I know this is a reproduction, but I am considering where the purple and blue is, putting this orangey color, so then it's just like the yellow flower, the orangey red, yellow, orangey red, and get rid of the blue and purple. And yes, I know it's a reproduction, but this is going to be in my house. Because the house is like kind of orangey, which I did buy the called for, which is Clockwork, but I also bought Sweet Potato because I thought Sweet Potato is slightly darker. So Sweet Potato is this top one and Clockwork is the bottom. So I was thinking that Sweet Potato might be just a little bit darker for the brick. So we'll see. And I might honestly like do both of these and kind of mix it up. We'll see. But I have that all kitted, ready to go. So I thought, well, this would definitely, this is another sampler I've wanted to work on and I've never picked it up. And this would be good like fall stitching. So that is going to happen. And then I have the Manor at Swan Lake, which I spoke about as well. And then this is, of course, another Brenda, which it's still my year of Brenda. So although I have a lot of Plum Street, I do want to keep working on Brenda. And I bought the Vicki Clayton Silk Pack for this after watching, I forget who it was, somebody that Grace, the Paisley Stitcher, had interviewed. I want to say it was Mary Darling. She stitched this in the Vicki Clayton for her granddaughter, and I thought it was so pretty. So this is also on my list, and this is a reproduction as well. Here's the antique. So I thought, well, that would be something kind of different. It has no alphabet or anything like, which actually I don't think any of these, come to think of it, have the alphabet. So, well, yeah, they just have verses, which I'm okay with. Oh, and Marianne Kopp just has a name. And there was a couple other things I just saw. So we'll see what happens in Sampler September. And then like I have Bittersweet September, which is a small, and I still want to work on a couple smalls because those hopefully I can get finished and it's like instant gratification because some of the bigger pieces are going to take a lot longer. All right. Now, I want to also mention, I have a whole list here of people I've been watching. I was kind of in a Flosstube slump, I guess you would call it, where I really didn't want to watch Flosstube. And I don't know why, but I just I was watching shows and that was entertaining me. And so, but recently, and maybe it was me getting back into recording or I don't know, I really have been digging into watching some Flosstube. So I wanted to go through the list of who I have been watching. So first I was, no order, but I was watching Krista, who's the Wildflower Stitcher. And I've watched her videos before, but she was doing a video with Stitching Jim. And they both went to summer school at the attic. And so they did a video together, which I had heard about Stitching Gem, but I had never watched her videos. So then that sent me on a rabbit hole to her videos, to which I went from the beginning and watched all of them. So she's a great one too. Stitching Gem. Nicola Bumble Stitches. She just put a video out after a couple months. Mrs. Flossie has a new video. Brenda and Laura, they just posted one yesterday. Another one, which I never watched her name is Lizzie, and that's what her channel is called, Lizzy. And hers was a recommendation, and she had a video recently, which I'll put the links down below, to 30 free samplers. So they were all free downloads from somewhere on the internet, and they all were samplers. Not all of them had alphabets and all that. They had different components. But if you're looking for something to stitch for Sampler September, you could go there, and she had 30 free downloads. Mama Loves You GB, Floss Boss and Cousins, Stitching Faye. She did, her video was almost 2 hours, the most recent. It was samplers and all kinds of stuff. So that was very motivating. Rachel with Needle and Flax, Tiger Lily Designs, which I will come back to something she said in a minute. Sable Stitchers, Karen Combs, Lost Our Needles, Celeste Creates, and Tattooed Stitcher. And Tattooed Stitcher I just found as well. I really don't know how I found her video, but she had a lot of great stuff. But I wanted to go back to what Carrie was talking about, Tiger Lily Designs, is she mentioned on her video about Lady Huzzah's Presents Blackbird video, and that sent her down a rabbit hole looking for different Blackbird series. And one of the series, which we both have, and like she said, we have talked about starting, and then it just kind of fizzles out and we haven't done anything about it. But she was texting me, and we're talking about, I believe, January start. We are going to start Anniversaries of the Heart. So if you have that series and you want to stitch along with us, you can start gathering things. I have narrowed down the fabric I want to use, so I need to find that and get the first chart kitted. I did have a couple of them kitted at one point, but then when I wasn't going to do it, I unkitted them all. So I need to kit up the first chart, get my fabric, and kind of get that ready. I know it's not till January, but just in the back of my mind of that I want to do that for next year. And I'll talk about at a later time kind of what my plans are. I have already started kind of thinking to next year. It's definitely going to be a lot more free. And obviously, any plan you make, you can always change. But I do want to stitch Anniversaries of the Heart, and I want to do the Americana Whip Go board. And then I have a couple other kind of goals, I would say, opposed to plans. Because if I don't meet the goal, I'm the only one who's telling myself it's the goal. So it doesn't really matter. But that is all I have for today. Now, I do have a couple things I wanted to show from Fat Quarter Shop, and then I have some giveaways. So these were new things from Fat Quarter Shop. They sent a couple quilt patterns, a family reunion, and Ritzy Bitsy Babies. And I'll link this stuff below. The July fireworks, the Be My Honey. This is Fat Quarter Shop. The Topiary House from Lori Holt. And then the Quilted Snowman. This is the quilt pattern. And Hometown Sampler quilt pattern, both by Lori. And I know that they're doing a sew along with this one coming up. And also the Halloween Memories book by Susan Aki. So this has quilts in it. And then in the back, similar to her Summer Memories, it also has cross stitch. And so it has all the patterns for that. This one in particular, let me see if I can find the picture and show without showing. This one I think is so, I like them all, but that one is my favorite. So I might get that, pull some floss from another project and stitch that. I just think it's so cute. So, and they have them like displayed on the back in a little tier tray. So cute. I love Susan Aki's books and just her style. So they also had sent this. Okay, and let me just check. I have two things from them I don't remember what came when. Yeah, that was the most recent. All right. So for the giveaways for this week, I kind of pulled some things that were fall and Halloween, because if you're not doing Sampler September, you might be doing whatever you want, or you might be participating with Fat Quarter Shop. They're doing Spooky September. So I thought, well, I'm going to just pull some fall Halloween things. So if you are interested in a giveaway, first of all, don't say the word giveaway. Don't use any of those win, any of the keywords like that, because it will attract spam. You need to like the video, be a subscriber to my channel, which I wanted to say, and I keep forgetting to say this. I have gained some subscribers, so I want to say welcome, and thank you for coming over. Thank you for coming back. Like I mentioned, I think I said this last time, I can't remember. I really enjoy doing these videos, and last week was fun to get back into the swing of things. I felt like I was visiting with friends, even though I'm just talking to my camera. But it's an outlet for me to be able to share this stuff with people who enjoy it, because nobody else in my immediate life cross stitches or really crafts. My cousin does, but my mom doesn't, and I have little kids, so I don't really have anybody close who they appreciate it, but I have no one to talk to it about. So this is my way of talking about my cross stitch to people who care. So that's kind of why I really enjoy doing the videos. So let's do, since I shared a whole list of people who I have been watching, why don't you use the numbers if you're interested in the giveaway, use the numbers for the different pieces, and then your comment can be whatever, but then also include who you're watching or who are some of your favorite floss tubers. And maybe there'll be some people that I haven't watched before, and I'll go check them out. I know Lisa from Kindred Stitcher, she did this recently and then compiled a whole list. But I'm curious, who are some of the people you like to watch? So add that in your comment if you're interested in any of the giveaways. So number one, this is a notebook. So this is number one. Number two is a cross stitch clutch from Starlight Stitching Co. And the inside looks like this. So this is number two. Number three is Halloween Doodles. Number three. Number four is a quilt pattern. This is called Peppermint Bark, but I pulled it because they have it colored in Halloween colors. So you obviously could change the colors, but I thought, well, this is great inspiration for fall. So this is number four. Number five is by Silver Creek Samplers. This is called Scary Things October Brings. Scary Things October Brings. This is number five. And number six is October Wordplay by Brenda Gervais. And I have an extra copy of this. All of these things are from my stash. So this is number six. So again, if you are interested, shout out your favorite floss tuber along with liking and subscribing to my channel. And that's what I got for today. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Next Monday is Labor Day, and so everyone will be home, so I probably won't do a Monday video, but I will be back on Tuesday the 3rd. So I'll have a video next week, but it won't be on Monday. So until next Tuesday, I will see you later. Bye.